Hey Internet, my name is Abi and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. We are still in orbit around Moho and now it's time for RoboCorman to finally land on this planet. So, as a preparation, because we are quite high with our orbit in 125 kilometers, we want to lower a little bit our orbit and in this case I want to use a little bit my driving section. I already said in the last episode that I want to use the... Let me at first shut down the supply driving section. I want to save this fuel a little bit for the deorbit process of my lander. In this case I want to do mainly the burn with my interplanetary stage for the lander itself. And I hope, okay, I have closed these fuel tanks, I have disabled the engines. In this case I think we could... Yeah, we can do the burn. So in this case, yeah, let me at first throttle now up. And I hope everything should work well. Yeah, these two engines are running. This is great. I'm a little bit scared about the amount of fuel left, and I hope that, yeah, I'm not now ruining my my flight back home to Kerbal, because, well, I'm now using fuel from my driving section I will need for returning back to Kerbal. Okay, let me reduce it to maybe 25 kilometers. I think this is a good altitude, and here from a lower altitude I need less fuel to land on the surface of Moho, because I have to kill less energy, because, well, if we are coming down from a higher altitude you have more potential energy compared to coming down from a lower altitude. Okay, now the next stop is to do a second burn at the periapsis to also lower the apoapsis, 27 by 24, 24 by 27. I think this is good enough. I think this is good enough for our landing purposes. So we need to turn our spacecraft around that we can prepare our land or the next burn. What about the fuel? We still have some fuel left. I hope the fuel left then will be good enough, especially for our return flight. Then we do have only a very light capsule from the lander itself, and we don't need to deal with the mass of the supply driving section and so on. In this case, I think this could be then hopefully still enough to return back to Kerbal, because this is all about that we also need to deliver our science and our insights about Moho to our Kerbal Space Center, and that we need to successfully return RoboCorman back to his home planet. Okay, but right now it's about to prepare our burn to lower also our apoapsis. And here, 7 minutes to go. Okay, we can only do 50 times time warp in this altitude, and 3 minutes and only 10 times. Okay, this makes the landing later on a little bit more complex, but well, it makes not the landing more complex, it just makes it more complex, or the time to wait for the landing, because we can't do so much of a time warp. But yeah, this is a completely different problem. Okay, now we are at our maneuver node. Now we can throttle up again to reduce our apoapsis a bit. RoboCorman is doing an amazing job, very nice. And cut the engines right here. So what have we done? 22 by 28. I think this is good enough, and the 22 is even at the daylight side. This is much better. Okay, now that I want to use this supply driving section to lower my orbit, or to do the landing, or to prepare the landing. In this case I think I need to attach my spacecraft on top of it. Here, on top of it would be the better place. In this case we need at first to do a quick save, of course, just in case that something crashes also. And now we need to drift a little bit away from the driving section, or from the supply driving section. Okay, then we also need to undock with this spacecraft. We need also to... No, this was the wrong direction. We need also to drift a little bit away from this component. Then we need to turn around just a tiny bit to get free of our main driving section we will use later on again. Okay, now we are drifting away. Let me set the supply mission as my target, switch over to docking mode. Okay, and now I hope when I'm approaching again this fuel tank or this driving section that I'm not running into my old driving section. Okay, let's turn over here. Okay, and at first let's kill all of the relative velocity, and now let's aim for the... Oh, I need to switch over to rotation mode. Okay, and we are aiming now at the docking port. Well, not completely at the docking port. I think I need to drift a little bit sideways at first, compared to the orientation of my supply driving section. And the thing is somehow rotating. Is the... Oh, this explains. SAS was disabled. Okay, now it should have stopped rotating. Hopefully it has stopped rotating. Yeah, I think so. I think now it's looking stable. This is great. This is really great, because it's really hard to do the landing or the docking with a rotating spacecraft. This is really a challenge. Okay, and now let us aim for this docking port. Think we can even speed a little bit things up. And then it's hard to see with the bright sun. Okay, we are drifting a little bit away from our docking port. In this case, we need to turn our spacecraft a little bit around. Okay, like here, and a little bit away from the docking port. Okay, like this. Now we can fly a little bit forward again. And then I'm excited for my very first Moho landing. Yeah, this is completely new, and I'm really looking forward to see all the results and to see what is going on there. And here, in this case, this is exciting. This is really exciting. Okay, and come here to stop. Now we need to find again our docking port on the nav ball over here. Very nice. Okay, and now let's start... Oh, not too fast, not too fast. Let's start approaching the thing. Looking good so far. Looking really good. Okay, let's disable... Oh, and we have the sunset. We do have the sunset now. But we are managing to... Yeah, we managed to get there, and we are docked. Now we can go back to staging. We can at first activate again our engines. We can activate the fuel tank. Okay, and we should enable SAS. So then we need to shift our controls around to the control from here. Okay, very good. So I want to land somewhere in the daylight side. So maybe, let me see, when I'm doing over here a maneuver, and I start lowering my trajectory, then there would be the impact. So I could have here a slow descent. Wait, let me just increase just a tiny bit my trajectory like this. Okay, so we have a very gently approach towards the surface, so that we can do at some point our braking maneuver or our lateral or our kill maneuver for our orbital velocity, so that we then can have hopefully a gently landing. Okay, I think we are now set up. I hope this fuel in this fuel tank is good enough, or is enough to slow us down. In this case, let me search for the maneuver node, so that we can then start preparing, or that we then can do the time warp for the final landing. And yeah, I'm a little bit a little bit maybe scatter-minded also, because I'm so focusing right now on the landing. It's really a long time since I last landed on a new celestial body. Well, of course I landed on the moon and so on, but on a completely different planet and so on. This is really a long time ago. So in this case, yeah, this is now exciting for me. And now, yeah, this is now the time. I said this is a little bit difficult for our approach, because we can't do faster time warps than 10 times, and this is a little bit problematic to to do the fast forward mode for the landing. And yeah, okay, 10 minutes to go. But I hope this won't get too boring, and I hope that we still have the 10 times time forward for a lot of the time of our descent, so that we can skip a little bit the time, or I just have to need to use the time lapse, so that you just see everything in fast forward mode, like in 8 times faster speed than the normal footage, also to speed things up for you, because I have to endure the long duration or the long time of my time warp. But yeah, okay, let's focus on the landing, only 4 minutes away from our maneuver node. Okay, this still looks pretty amazing. Maybe I can even land somewhere in a crater or something like this. This would be amazing. And we have the sunrise again. Very nice. Okay, only 2 minutes away from our burn. RoboCorman is smiling. He knows that it's now time for him to land on a new celestial body, to land on a planet. Okay, now let's do the burn. Let's roll up and stop. Very good, very good. Okay, now we are definitely coming down. And let me see, maybe somewhere around here in 6 minutes I will continue, or I will do the next burn, and I will kill all of my, or try to kill all of my orbital velocity, so that I'm going straight down. Okay, only 4 minutes to go. I'm excited, I'm so excited. Finally landing on a different planet. This is exciting, this is really great. Okay, 2 minutes to go. 1 minute, I will wait until maybe 15 kilometers of altitude. And let's stop here. Very good, very good. Okay. Now, let's use all of the fuel from our... I hope this will work out well. I hope this is not a crash then. Let's use the last drops of the supply mission to slow us down before we need to undock from our spacecraft and finally do the landing with our own engines. Okay, the fuel is going down. This is also a little bit of saved fuel for our lander. This is exactly what I wanted. Okay, now we are out of fuel. This means we now need to undock. And we need to switch over our vessel, cut the engine, and use a little bit of RCS to drift away. Now we need to turn the thing around. And let's activate the engines. Okay, okay. Now it's time. Oh, and don't forget to activate the fuel tanks. Oh, this could have been precarious for the landing. Okay, now. Full throttle. This is the very first time that I'm using this lander for a real landing on a planet. I haven't used it before. Well, I tested it in the strange VAB attempt, but these landers are designed for landing on Julian moons. So in this case, yeah, this is the very first time that this thing is really used in practice, and that the thing is really used for a real landing purpose. And this is really exciting, and this is really great. And this is now the very first time that I'm doing it in real time, or that I'm really using this thing for a real landing purpose on a celestial body. And yeah, this is pretty much exciting for me. And oh, cut the throttle right now. Okay, let me bring the retrograde vector directly on top of the nav ball, as we do normally. Then we should have somewhere a light. Let me enable the light. Let me deploy the landing gear. What about our altitude? Where's my radio altimeter? It's there. Okay, we are higher than 3 kilometers. Good. Very good. Let me just check this. As soon as this thing, the radar altitude starts to move, I should start reducing my velocity. Okay, let's have a close view on the radar altitude. I hope this thing is working. Okay, there it starts to move, so now we need to slow down ourselves. Very good, very good. Do we have already our light shining to the surface? No, not yet. Ah, but we have a shadow. Down there is our shadow. This is nice, this is really nice. Robo-Kerman, can we do a crew report? Near space Moho, okay. Not flying at Moho, okay. And look at this, the surface looks like the surface of a beach or something like this, when you have a sand beach and there were some waves rolling across the beach, or some dunes, like some dunes in the desert or so. Okay, the shadow is getting bigger. I think we are directly, the sun is directly on top or directly ahead or above us and directly over our head. So that's why the shadow is so directly underneath us. Okay, okay. Now focus on the landing. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Only a few meters. Robo-Kerman is doing an amazing job. Let's throttle just a little bit up to slow us down, but don't start to climb up. Okay, this is a very nice approach velocity. This is really amazing. This is just amazing. Okay, let's focus on gently landing and cut the engines. Well done, well done. Good job. Okay, and we have fuel left. I hope this fuel is good enough for even taking off again. As I said, this is the very first time that I'm doing a real landing with this lander on a different celestial body, but we made it. We made it. Okay, let me do a quick save. And here, Robo-Kerman is now on the surface of Moho. We made it. And yeah, the sun is directly above us. This is great. Okay. So and yeah, we landed. We landed directly in a crater. This is interesting. This is great. Okay. So, Robo-Kerman, let me do a crew report. Crew report from Moho's surface. Let's transmit it back home. And then we can even extend our ladder. We can observe mystery goo. You observe the goo. 100 signs. Wow. Okay, keep the data. And what else? What else? Then we need to do our observe materials bay. The materials bay bakes in the heat of Moho's surface. It appears that trace elements are reacting to samples contained within. 250 signs. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, toggle display. Okay, 0.274G. Okay, locked seismic data. The sensor detects vibrations deep inside the planet. It appears that the interior is very volcanical active. Okay, 200 signs. Wow, not bad. Landing on Moho is really rewarding. Okay, toggle the display. 2.69 meters per second squared. Okay. Look, landing here has provided a very accurate and stable measure of the gravitational forces. Additional 200 signs. Wow. Great. Okay, and what is our temperature? Toggle display. 0. We are on this hot surface. We are directly at the hottest spot, directly under the sun, and we have only 0 degrees Celsius, I assume. Okay. Well, log temperature. The temperature is very high and appears to fluctuate to extremes in the sunlight. Okay, we are in the sunlight. It should fluctuate to the extremes, but we have currently 0 degrees. Yeah. Okay. This is strange. This is really strange. But yeah, good, good. So, now, the most important thing is EVA. Can you reach out there? I hope you can use your jetpack and fly up there, because we need to recover the signs before we do our takeoff again. But yeah, I think you should be able to do so because the gravity is quite low here. And here, look at this, look at this. Robo Kerman is on the surface. Robo Kerman is running on the surface of Moho. He made it, woohoo! And yeah, the gravity is quite low, he can jump quite high. This is great, this is great. He is now on the surface of Moho. Great, this is great. I'm happy for Robo. Okay, at first, take surface sample. Surface sample from Moho's surface. 300 signs. Wow. The ground is made up of old lava flows, suggesting periods of intense volcanic activity. Okay, keep the data and EVA report. It's getting very hot in here. 80 signs. Okay, so how do I have called the other landing sites? First landing on Ike, first landing on Dunar. Okay. So, in this case, yeah, let's put down here our flag, plant flag. Ka-ching, ka-ching. And first landing on Moho, performed by Robo Kerman. Okay, okay, good job, good job. Well done. Yeah, I think this is good. So, we have planted our flag, we have gathered some signs. Now, speaking of signs, we need to gather also our signs from our spacecraft, because we will discard the outer two parts of our... Yeah, okay, we have enough power to lift ourselves on top of the spacecraft, okay. And collect data, remove data, very good. Okay, and then we need to... Come on, you can do this. Come on, come on, come on. We need to fly over to our mystery goo. Okay, very good. And collect data. Remove data. From Moho surface. Okay, very good. Have I already collected this? No, collect data. Yes, remove data from material study by an high space over Moho. Okay, so we have a lot of signs gathered now. Let me carefully jump down here. Careful, careful. Well done, well done. Okay. So we have collected all of our data before we will then discard the outer stages when we want to start again. And now we also need to get our data back. And take data, and take data. Okay, and let me now store these experiments. Okay. So we have stored all of our experiments in the lander, very nice. Let me now explore a little bit more the surroundings. Well, this is a little bit strange, or well, this is exactly like the same thing with the first lunar landings also. You have only... You are very limited to your way you can explore the surface. I mean, yeah, look at the walking speed. Can we run? Yeah, the gravity is strong enough that we can run, so we can run on the surface. But here, covering some distance is not so very useful. So it's very hard to explore a celestial body. And let me zoom in a little bit. We are just down here in this small crater, and from our position we can barely see the crater rims, so this is looking really like a vast place, and yeah, it's very hard to explore all the surrounding. And yeah, this is like the very first moon landing, and bringing up a rover or something here is a completely different challenge. So at least, or for me, it was all about at first landing on Moho and having the landing here, so that we achieved the landing, and this was the very first or the very most important thing for me. And yeah, in this case, we made it. This is all what's about. And now let me just have a short look. I think, and let me have a glance at my notes. Okay, Moho needs to be compared to Kerbal somewhere around here, so we have a little bit time until we need to lift off again from the surface of Moho. But Eve has now, or we do now have a launch window up to Eve. In this case, we need to make sure, or I need to make sure that my Eve lander is finally working, and that I can hopefully do a landing on Eve. And yeah, this is the next step, or the next thing I need to do. But right now, we can be happy, and we can now celebrate the landing on Moho. And this is just great. Okay, now let me just at first bring back Robo Kermit to his capsule so he can have a short rest, because this was an exciting day for him. He performed the landing on Moho, and he also performed his very first EVA. He planted a flag. And let me now review the stored data. We have our EVA report from Moho surface. We can transmit this back home. Then we have our material study. We have the mystery goo. We have material study from high over Moho. We have the gravity scan, we have the seismic scan, we have the temperature scan, and we have a surface sample. So many great things. This is just amazing. Good job, good job, Robo. Good job. Okay, and as I said, we now have some time, or he has now some time to explore a little bit and do some science here on the surface of Moho until we are having our software glitch update before flight. Don't forget. Yeah, I think this might be a useful advice. So we have now a little bit of time before we can leave Moho again. And yeah, in the meantime, we need to make sure that our Eve lander is working well and that we can launch up to Eve. And yeah, this is what I will do now next. But at first, I will now go over to the Space Center because I want to check something. Okay, Space Center, because I wanted to go over to our science archives. We have currently 3,258 science. This is not bad, and Squad has even, well, they are currently preparing the next version of Kerbal Space Program, and they have announced that there will be some engines using monopropellant, and there will be also some RCR thrusters using liquid fuel, so I think we can then put our science to good use, hopefully. I hope that with the release of the next update, my career mode isn't screwed up, because I don't know when they want to release the next update, but I want at first, before I start a new game or something like this, I want to finish the landing on every celestial body, and it would be sad if suddenly the next patch is deployed and then this game is screwed or something like this, and I'm not able to finish everything I wanted to do. But yeah, right now I wanted to go over here because I want to see what have we done already with Moho. We have some crew reports from Moho surface. Oh well, high space. From high space we have the material study via high space over Moho is currently stored in our capsule. The other ones are already returned. This is nice. Then we have in space near Moho, we have crew report, we have the EVA report, we have gravity scan, material study, mystery goo, temperature, and from the surface landed we have the crew report and the EVA report already transmitted back home, and then we have some data. So Moho is about to be finished, as you can say, because we are now just need to bring this back home. Carbon, of course, has a lot of things done. The moon, we have a lot of things from in space high and space low, surface landed. Minmus, we have done a lot of things in space low and space high. But I think there are a lot of more, because Minmus and Moon have different biomes, so we could gather some more science, but we have done this. We have Duner, some flying high, flying low, surface landed in space high. Ike, we do also have something. Eve, we have some science for in space high and in space low, but they are currently in our Dress Explorer. They need to return back home. Jewel itself, we have something about in space low and in space high, but all the other moons we need to explore. And Ilu, we are currently on our way up to Ilu. So Eve, we do have even something from the surface landed, from flying low, flying high in space. So basically we have already finished something about Eve, because we have brought back we have transmitted back some data from the surface, but yeah, we still need to have also a liftoff from there, and Gilly is still left over. Oh, I need to remember Gilly for my Eve Explorer, that I need to land on Gilly. Yeah, so much about my science, so much about my progress. This is pretty amazing. And with this, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you liked this, and I hope you will be joining me in the next episode when we start preparing our EVE exploration. In this case, my name is Abby. Until next time, see you!